Broadcasting live on Spreaker.com, this is What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz presented by Sports Radio America. I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe, the man who spent the 400th anniversary of Shakespeare's death yesterday combining one of his favorite things with one of his least favorite things. Reciting villainous Shakespeare soliloquies while running on the treadmill. Hashtag Shakespeare lives. Hashtag my knees are dead. And now, here's a man who's very glad to be here. No, I couldn't come up with anything better than that this week. Your host at the BLC Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Baxter Colburn!
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. It's good to be back for another exciting edition of What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. Tonight we bring you a new panelist and some interesting games about the sports world as well.
Before we welcome in our first contestant, we'd like to encourage all of you to go check out our social media pages. On Facebook, you can find us at What's the Score, and on Twitter and Instagram at WTS Sports Quiz.
If you'd like to play our games on air, you can email us at WTSSportsQuiz@gmail.com or visit our social media pages and click on the pinned post at the top of each page. Also, don't forget to check out our website by going to WTSSportsQuiz.wix.com/quiz. That's WTSSportsQuiz.wix.com/quiz. You can find all the latest information on upcoming shows, who tops our panelist leaderboard, past episodes, and so much more.
If you ever miss a show, you can find it on Spreaker.com and the Spreaker app, iTunes, the College Tailgate, the Sports Quotient, Vavel USA, and on Stitcher. Also, if you think this show is worth at least $1, why not donate to our Patreon account? Just search What's the Score and donate today.
Let's meet our panelists this week. First up, he's an actor, an educator, director, an avid football and golf watcher. It is Ken Williams.
Greetings.
Nice to have you back, Ken. Thanks so much for being here.
Glad to be back.
Next up, he is a sports broadcaster and an avid fan of all things St. Louis, unless they lose in the playoffs, and Wisconsin sports. It is Grant Coppersmith.
Now, funny thing about that, if they lose the series, if the Blues lose the series, I told you guys this, but I'm moving to the furthest city away from St. Louis, Missouri, which is in Perth, Australia.
Perth, Australia.
It's 17,550 kilometers away from St. Louis, and I couldn't get any farther away if they lose tomorrow.
Well, we'll have to, I'm curious to see if this actually happens now. And finally, making his debut on a panel, not on the piano. He's an on-air host for Good Karma Brands and on ESPN Milwaukee. It's Gabe Neitzel.
Kilometers? What are we doing, a show in Canada? I mean, we're using the metric system suddenly?
Hey,
is there something that I need to know before we start about using the metric system tonight? Because it was my understanding there would be no math.
It's a game of meters and centimeters, my friend.
If I'm going to be moving to Australia, I'm going to need to learn the metric system.
All right, that's fair.
Exactly.
Okay,
Perth, Australia. And I feel like I need to get you a shirt now or something. Like, welcome to Perth. I love it. Welcome to the show panel. Ken, last time you were here, we all know what exactly happened with that. Some of the audio that you gave us too allowed us to pretty much do an entire best of What's the Score show as well. So
that's not me. That's
you've got a long way to live up to tonight, I feel like. But I'm excited to see what we have in store tonight.
Well, it's time to get this show on the road with our first contestant game. Joining us on the phone to play Quotable Context is David Tewksbury. Welcome to the show, David.
Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Very good. Welcome to the show, David. All right, David, you're going to be playing our first game called Quotable Context. Game Master Scheibe will read you 5 quotes from this week's news, and you must correctly identify the context of each quote. Answer 3 out of 5 questions correctly, and you will win our prize, a What's the Score t-shirt. If you get stuck on a question, you are allowed to ask one panelist for help, but you only can do that on one question, so make sure you choose wisely. Are you ready to play?
All right, let's do it.
All right, here is your first clue.
I have decided to retire young. Thanks for the cheese. Catch yous later.
That was what famous UFC fighter that announced this week that he is retiring ahead of UFC 200?
Oh, man, I'm not a UFC guy. I know this was in the news, and, cripes, what's that guy's name? McGregor? McGregor, I believe his last name is?
Yes, we'll give it to you. Conor McGregor, that is correct.
All right.
Nicely done. All right, here is your next quote.
I am not retired.
That was what notable UFC fighter telling everyone that he did not retire from fighting this week, despite rumors that he did.
I'm going to go with Conor McGregor.
Yeah, that is correct. Conor McGregor flip-flopping back and forth saying, hey guys, I've retired. He tweeted it out. Everybody was freaking out about it. A couple other fighters came out saying, you know what, if Conor's retiring, I'm retiring. And then there were the other guys that were trying to seize the fight to be like, I'll take on Nate Diaz. And then Connor was like, what are you guys talking about? I'm still here. I'm ready to fight.
Funny thing is, when I saw that he was retiring, I knew in my head that he wasn't, and it was just some social ploy. And I was right.
It seems like something he would do.
Yeah, because he just lost, and to spark interest back into him, and that fits his ego perfectly. I thought it was an act.
Well, let's be honest, his pants are too tight. He didn't get blood to his brain.
That's what it is.
There you go.
All right, David, here is your next quote.
He believes he is the man for her and intends to pursue her when he gets out of prison.
That was the New York Daily News reporting that what former NFL running back player that is now currently in jail is still interested in repairing his relationship with Kris Jenner and the Kardashians.
That would be Orenthal James Simpson.
Yes, that is correct. Simpson is up for parole next year and is apparently still interested in Jenner. He did go on to mention that if Kris is not interested, that he would love to get with Caitlyn Jenner. He apparently is obsessed with her. Personally, I think a life sentence would be a lot easier than trying to spend time with the Jenners or the Kardashians. So we'll see if he decides to get himself into that mess
so
or not.
The Kardashians are the bad ones in this scenario. I'm just checking. Thank you for that clarification.
Yes, exactly. I just wanted to make sure.
I'm not touching that one with a 10.
But apparently O.J. Simpson would. All right, here's your next quote, David.
It came out of nowhere. It really did. I got sideswiped. I didn't see it coming.
That was what NFL player that had his franchise tag rescinded this week by the Carolina Panthers?
That would be Josh Norman.
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done. Josh Norman finding out that the Panthers didn't want him after he blew onto the scene last year and really made a name for himself. People were saying he was better than Richard Sherman. Now we find that he is on a team like the Washington Redskins, signed a $75 million deal. It's all about the money, obviously, not about the Super Bowls. So good luck, Josh, the rest of the way. All right, here's your last quote, David.
All right.
He's had people who have given up on him. I'm not going to be that guy.
That was Von Miller this week, stating that while he still supports his former college teammate after he found out that he's gotten in trouble a lot the last couple of years. Who is that teammate?
That is Johnny Manziel.
Yes, that is correct. Von Miller still pushing for Manziel to become the new quarterback after Brock Osweiler got signed by the Houston Texans and Peyton Manning retired. If that's your biggest option, I would almost rather go with Mark Sanchez at this point, if those are the rumors that are swirling around. We'll see if Denver decides to draft a quarterback. I don't necessarily know what they're going to do, but it's probably not going to be a repeat. Maybe Elway will come out of retirement and maybe give that a shot. Game Master Scheibe, how did David do on our quiz?
David got a perfect score, 5 out of 5, and he's a winner.
Hey, congratulations, David. Thank you so much for playing, sir.
Well, it looks like we're headed to our first break now, but when we come back, our panelists will have their first crack at showcasing their knowledge of this week's sports news. You're listening to What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz, presented by Sports Radio America, live on Spreaker.com.
Hey everyone, this is your host of What's the Score, Baxter Colburn.
And I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. On our break, we'd like to take a moment to thank one of our sponsors, Ticket Liquidator. Ticket Liquidator is one of the world's biggest online ticket marketplaces.
When you call Ticket Liquidator, you can find sold-out tickets to the biggest events on the planet. They offer a huge selection of tickets at 15% lower cost than their competitors. Their fantastic call center has live agents available 7 days a week. Call them today at 855-839-7889.
Ticket Liquidator is a multiple award-winning company, including Deloitte's Fast 500's fastest-growing company in Connecticut. Call today and find tickets to the next big game. Call 855-839-7889 to have access to over 4 million tickets to over 83,000 events worldwide. That number again is 855-839-7889. Hey guys, this is Baxter Colburn, host of What's the Score, the sports news quiz. Did you know that you can listen to us on a lot of different platforms now? Yes, you can. Go and check us out on Spreaker.com. You can download our podcast on Stitcher and on the iTunes App Store. You can also find us on thesportsquotient.com and on sportsradioamerica.com as well. Just about anywhere that you can look for great radio programming, you can find What's the Score, the sports news quiz. Go and check us out today and tell your friends.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to What's the Score, the sports news quiz, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe. This week, our panelists are Ken Williams, Grant Coppersmith, and Gabe Neitzel. And now, here's your host at the BLC Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Baxter Colburn.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody.
Time now for our panelists to showcase their knowledge about this past week's sports news.
But before we do that, Grant, I took the liberty to look up house prices for you in Perth, Australia.
Oh, thank you.
You have it looks like for a one bed, one bath, you can spend about $495,000. If you want to upgrade for a 3-2, you can go $1.4 million.
How much is that in euro?
Yeah, these are in.
Wait, do we have a conversion rate?
This is the Chinese yen. No,
are these houses?
Houses. Yes.
Okay,
beautiful houses.
Oh, wow.
Apartments,
Okay.
And I
was thinking, wow, prices are extreme.
This is realestate.com.au, so check it out.
Okay.
And you can live there. Nice little place there.
Yeah.
Anyway, Grant,
it looks like right in your price range.
Yeah,
I think so.
Still in college? Perfect. We're going to talk.
That's fine.
I love it. Well, Grant, we'll actually start with you for our panel questions this week, so that works out well.
Perfect.
This week we found out that Pete Rose, the baseball legend, depending on who you ask, is headed to the Hall of Fame. However, not the Hall of Fame that you'd think. Where can fans now find Rose enshrined forever?
It's hilarious. It's all over Facebook, and he is being enshrined to the Bobblehead Hall of Fame.
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done. No word officially if Rose is as honored to be a part of that Hall of Fame as he would be for the real Hall of Fame, but it's an honor, though, being in the Bobblehead Hall of Fame.
All right, Ken. The Milwaukee Brewer, Blaine Boyer, revealed that he went undercover this past fall to help do what?
Not play baseball.
Yeah, I gathered. Is he playing for the Blues?
Maybe that's why he hasn't
they
done
need a little. From what I understand, they need every piece of help that they can get.
He was with Jordy Nelson farming.
No, that is not it, unfortunately. He and along with Adam LaRouche, went to help free sex slaves.
He went to help free sex slaves.
You got it!
Wow, no. Yeah, actually, it's
about that.
It was beautiful.
Wasn't it in Africa or something like that?
They did not officially reveal the locations. It's actually very interesting, too, after all the issues that surrounded LaRouche as well, after with the White Sox, saying, hey, I don't want that, $10 or $14 million to come play because you don't want my kid here. But he did do an exclusive interview with ESPN, the magazine, as well, identifying within reason about where in the world that he went and how dangerous it was. But it's really cool, though, the fact that two guys like that have pretty much everything made for them. They're making millions of dollars playing the sports they love, and they put themselves on the line to go help out. I think the program was called Exodus.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like wondering, do you just go in the tabloids and the paper, or like?
They said that they had to go to a lot of brothels, and they just kind of had to gauge every situation to see whether or not the girls that were underage were there, against their will, or it was a very dodgy situation.
No, I was saying to get the job. Do you just
they go through the organization, through the organization Exodus.
I not even think to get that idea.
I can't say in all the free time I've ever had, I can't say I would willingly. But hey, good for them. It was exciting that they were willing to go do that, honestly. Gabe, question for you. After signing a $75 million deal this week, what notable NFL player now finds himself on the Washington Redskins?
Josh Norman.
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done.
Really? Really?
What happened?
I get the question about some obscure sex
trafficking.
trade.
I knew that.
You're from Milwaukee. It was relevant.
Asked in the first round. Really?
I'm new here. They're taking pity on me.
Exactly.
Man.
We got to
I'm the
work
new guy.
him in a little
He's the
bit.
guy wearing the ESPN shirt.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, too, the fact that now that Norman has decided to play for the Redskins, he's also officially declared that he is never interested in winning a Super Bowl the rest of his career. So good luck to the Redskins this year. But having a guy like Norman on the defense certainly fills a clog.
And I just want to prove a point. Even though he is wearing an ESPN shirt, he's wearing an ESPN Cleveland hat, so that's kind of knocking him down a couple
All right, there we go. I'm okay with that.
But you're not a Browns fan, though, Gabe.
No, we have a sister station in Cleveland, and that's where the ESPN Cleveland
Makes
came
sense.
from.
All right, well, we're heading to a break, but when we come back, our second contestant will have a chance to talk about a man who's talked about a lot these days. Don't go away. You're listening to What's the Score, the sports news quiz, live on Spreaker.com. What's the Score would like to take this time to thank one of our partners, Vavel USA, the international online sports newspaper, for their support. Head over to vavel.com/en-us today as they provide professional reporting on all major sports in the USA. Follow them on Twitter at Vavel_USA and go like their Facebook page for prime access to the ultimate source for sports coverage on the web. We here at What's the Score are proud to partner with a terrific organization like Vavel USA.
Hey guys, this is Baxter, the host of What's the Score, the sports news quiz. Want to take a minute to remind all of you to go and check us out on social media. You can find us on Facebook at What's the Score, the sports news quiz, on Twitter at WTS Sports Quiz, and on Instagram at WTS Sports Quiz as well. And if you enjoy the whole hashtag game, like some of us like to do, hashtag goals, hashtag believer, hashtag, I don't know, I'm running out of hashtags. Anyway, use the hashtag What's the Score on Twitter and Instagram and check out some of the other exclusive content that we do as well. Connecting all of us one smartphone at a time.
Hello all and welcome back to the BLC studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is What's the Score, the sports news quiz, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Josh Scheibe, your game master. We've got a really, really fun panel here for you this week. Grant Coppersmith, Gabe Neitzel, and Ken Williams, and they'll have the opportunity to show their prowess in just a little bit. Before that, though, here's the host of What's the Score, Baxter Colburn.
Thank you, Josh. Coming up, we put our panelists to the test in our Name 5 Panelist Showdown. If you would like to play our games on air, why not shoot us an email at WTSSportsQuiz@gmail.com. You can click on the links also on the contestant form on our Facebook and Twitter pages as well.
Playing our next game is Brandon Rindfleisch. Welcome to the show, Brandon.
Good to be here. Thank you very much.
All right, Brandon, as you may or may not know, Johnny Manziel finds himself living out his dream, being the most talked about person in the NFL. However, probably not because of the actions that he had hoped.
Not all the right reasons?
No, not at all, unfortunately. He constantly finds himself in the media for breaking something, getting fined, or even losing his agent and his job. Things that really couldn't get much worse for him.
In this game, which we've decided to call Johnny Be Good, we'll quiz you about the many happenings in Manziel's illustrious career since he came into the league. Correctly answer 3 out of 5 questions, and you'll win a What's the Score prize. If you get stuck on a question, you can ask one panelist for a hint on only one question, so make sure you choose wisely. Are you ready to play?
All right, here we go.
All right, here we go. Back on June 14th, 2014, a picture emerged of Manziel doing what at a party? Was it A, wearing a shirt that said Cleveland is hell, B, jumping into a pool naked, or C, drinking straight from a bottle of alcohol while floating on an inflatable swan?
I was going to go with C.
Yes, that is correct.
All right.
The picture emerged. Reminds me a little bit of how my bachelor party went, too, I think. But
I mean, who doesn't have a picture of that just lying around? I mean, everybody's got that.
At least he was close.
How is that embarrassing for Johnny? I mean,
exactly. That was
I
par
got
for the
4
course.
inflatable swans in my garage.
Like that? How is that a bad thing? That's my life goal right there.
Summer parties.
Was he called a
house.
nihilist? Oh, whatever.
Exactly. All right, here's your next question.
On January 3rd, 2015, Manziel had drinks thrown at him by people at a nightclub because he did what to them? Is it A, he asked if anyone wanted to meet his real moneymaker? B, he went up to a guy wearing a Steelers shirt and slapped him? Or C, he flipped the bird at them?
All very good options.
They're all excellent options. I'll go with C again.
Yes, that is correct.
All right.
Nicely done. When in doubt, assumed he flipped somebody off.
There's that swan again.
Well, why would you go after a Steelers fan? I usually like imagine
Brown
those guys.
Steelers, you know.
Well, I imagine he wouldn't be able to be a match for him.
That's true.
Well,
yeah,
if he's at a bar and alcohol's involved, ooh.
Probably not. All right, here's your next question. One of the latest strikes against Manziel, that's who he is, involved him doing what? Was it A, kicking his neighbor's dog, B, getting drunk, crashing his car, and throwing up all over the cop that responded, or C, causing $32,000 worth of damage to a $4.5 million house during a 2-day party escapade?
C.
Yes, that is correct.
I remember that. It had a lot of details. So.
Well, I thought maybe that second one might get you there.
I was almost going to pick A.
Yeah,
I was almost going to.
kicking the neighbor's dog.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him.
What I didn't know existed were 2-day parties. I thought one night would be
you
enough.
party with Johnny.
But 2 full days. That's impressive.
That's how we do it. That's how
You've
Johnny
never
works.
had a weekend-long bender? Come on, dude.
No,
Are we?
Come on, Grant.
No,
He's
I'm
got
sorry.
a kid, Gabe. He's
Yeah,
got a kid.
I'm 21 and have a kid. I'm sorry that I don't experience these things.
I still haven't gotten my $32,000 either yet.
The Williams estate, Manziel is trashing.
It's in Perth.
For some of the houses we were just looking at. All right, here's your next question, Brandon.
Excuse me. Manziel told TMZ that he's training to get back out on the field by working where? Working out where? Is it A, in the mountains, B, his grandma's house, or C, Jerry Jones' estate?
I'm going to go to the panel in this one.
Ooh, all right. Who'd you like to
I'm
ask?
going to go with
Grant?
Gabe Neitzel.
Gabe Neitzel. All right, Gabe. What can you offer for a hint?
Well, the best hint I guess I could give is because we were just kind of talking about this a little bit. So think about a famous Wisconsin athlete who's also in the NFL who kind of escapes to different places in order to do his workouts.
Can I hear the options again?
Yes, Game Master Scheibe.
A, in the mountains,
all right.
B, his grandma's house, or C, Jerry Jones' estate?
I'm going to go with A.
Yes, that is correct. In the mountains. Manziel was confronted by TMZ walking out of a place that he got lunch at, and they say, "Hey, Johnny, where are you training right now?" And Johnny looked, and I don't know where he was, but there was a bunch of mountains in the background, and he was like, "In the mountains every day, I'm working hard." And I was like, maybe your head's in the mountains. Maybe he was in Colorado.
That sounds
I don't know
legit.
exactly.
Well, I just want to say that's actually not as strange as one might seem.
Oh, yeah,
because a lot
it
of
makes
athletes
sense.
do that.
Yeah, no, I understand that. When I did a lot of soccer conditioning my freshman year when I played in college, we ran through these back hills and all kinds of random stuff. There's actually a guy that did the 5-mile run in flip-flops.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Mucho respect to him on that one. He was a goalie, too. He's like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, you guys can run? Wow.
Goalies are weird.
Yeah, you had
They're
your
weird.
earplugs running next to him. But
Yeah, exactly. It was ridiculous. All right, here is your final question, Brandon. Due to all his legal and personal issues, what major sporting line announced that they are officially dropping their endorsement of Manziel? Is it A, Puma, B, Nike, or C, Adidas?
B? Nike?
Yes, that is
All
correct. Nike officially dropping Manziel, especially after all the craziness with him losing his agent and the damage to the Williams estate as well. Game Master Scheibe, how did Brandon do on our quiz?
Brandon knows his Manziel. He got 5 out of 5.
Nicely
He's a
done.
winner.
Congratulations, Brandon. Thank you so much for playing.
Well, thank you.
All right, panel, some more questions from you about this last week's news. Ken, a business called Taco Time out in Spokane, Washington, has set their eyes on a very special person that they want to hire. They even put it on their front sign. He's currently unemployed after being in the NFL, though. Who is that target?
Johnny Manziel.
Yes. I was hoping by putting those back to back, I was like, let's see if he connects the dots.
See, now you get the one that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
What do you know? It works out.
I was trying to send brave messages to you.
Yes, Taco Time, you know how people can say, Taco Tuesday, $5. They have, Johnny Manziel, we want to hire you, or something like that, or you have a job here. I doubt he's going to take it, but at this point, after losing his agent, after no NFL team wanted to take
By the
him,
way, how just courageous of his agent. Like, nobody wants to sign you, so now I'm going to drop. Of course you're going to drop him. You're not going to make any money off of him.
Smart guy. Yeah, Drew Rosenhaus was like, I'm done.
Yeah. Not because of Johnny's trouble, because Johnny is worth nothing to him right
Exactly.
All right, Gabe, the next one's for you. This week, a very special event took place at the Temple of Hera in Olympia, Greece, ahead of what event?
Ken is like, obviously, I know that one.
I mean, so the Olympics?
Yes, that is correct. Yep.
There you go.
Okay. All
The
right.
Olympic torch was
Torch is
officially
lit.
lit. 90, I believe it's 95 days now until the games kick off in Rio. But questions are still being asked, though, about the water quality. Athletes have threatened to boycott the event as well.
President's been impeached.
Brazil is a hot, hot mess right now. Grant, question for you. A rising star in Canadian high school basketball was arrested this week after it was discovered that what was interesting about him?
This is the one out of all the 6 that I haven't know that I didn't know. I do not know.
I had to
this
dig
one.
for this one. Would you like a hint?
Really? Yes, I would like a hint. Please.
All right. The hint regarding to him is, let's say his eligibility has probably at least been up for about 15 years.
Is he too old to
He
play
is.
in high
Yes,
school?
he
Okay.
is actually 30 years
30
old.
years old.
I'm sorry.
dude
we,
was-
we can get hints?
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know.
he told you
Get
before the
hints?
show.
You didn't.
Let's start this game
Yeah,
over.
we're gonna start everything. Yes, Jonathan Nicola was playing for Catholic Central High in Windsor, Ontario, on a student visa after he came from war-torn South Sudan, and he was living with the school's coach through a foreign exchange student placement program as well. He was dominating Canadian basketball. They had
wonder
the
why.
highlight tapes. I think he's 6'7", like 240, something like that. Just
how
a
old is he?
monster.
How did
he's 30
how
officially.
30
did
years old.
nobody know this? Is it like that? Is it like that one actor that
I mean, they're
looks
Canadian,
like he's a
so it
teenager?
probably
Well, no,
took
this
him a while.
actually
35?
happened in Texas not that long ago,
Yeah.
too. He was a 22-year-old who was doing it, and an old coach of his saw him at an AAU tournament and went, wait a minute. I used to coach
That's
this
not
kid.
right.
And then on top of that, this guy then was arrested because he had a relationship with a 15-year-old at the new high school he was at.
Oh, man.
Ooh, rough.
Yeah.
I mean, on paper.
So Texas, Canada, these things happen.
Well, I'm not surprised from Texas, but maybe a little bit from Canada.
Well, okay, let's cut this conversation off now. It's time for another break. But just before we do that, I want to point out that Gabe got an extra point because he gave a successful hint in our last game.
Congratulations. Nicely done, Gabe. Well done, well done. That'll be very important later on.
Well, don't worry. We'll be right back, and our panelists will have their final chance to answer some questions about this week's sports news. You're listening to What's the Score, the sports news quiz presented by Sports Radio America live on Spreaker.com.
Hey guys, this is Baxter Colburn, host of What's the Score, the sports news quiz. If you enjoy listening to What's the Score, why not go and donate to our Patreon account today? That's patreon.com. Search for What's the Score and donate today. You can get awesome t-shirts, before the show shout-outs, and so much more. Tell your friends about us. Hey, if you donate, we'd be happy to give you a shout-out and even have you come on the show and play a game or two with us as well. Hey everyone, this is Baxter Colburn, host of What's the Score, the sports news quiz. Want to take a moment to let all of you know that if you enjoy listening to What's the Score, you can find us on thesportsquotient.com. Go and check out thesportsquotient.com. Check out and see how you stack up against the rest of the sports world by taking one of their S quizzes. You can also check out the Fantasy Guru section, and for those of you stat geeks out there, they've got plenty of things for you. Plus, check out all the other great content that they have on their podcast section, like this very show right here, What's the Score? Hey everyone, this is Baxter. Just want to take a minute to thank one of our sponsors of What's the Score, Sports Radio America. Go and check out sportsradioamerica.com today and find all the greatest shows that you and your friends should be listening to if you're not already. Listen to the College Credit Hour, Sunday Gridiron, Major League Diamond, Two Up Front, and What's the Score. You can find What's the Score on sportsradioamerica.com and on the TuneIn app by listening to them on Mondays and Wednesdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Sports Radio America, one of the official sponsors of What's the Score.
Welcome back to What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz, presented by Sports Radio America, and thanks for listening in. We're broadcasting live from the BLC studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe. We're playing this week with Gabe Neitzel, Ken Williams, and Grant Coppersmith. And here, once again, is your host of What's the Score, Baxter Coleman.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. As we continue on with our show, we want to remind all of you that you can find the show on demand anytime on Spreaker, iTunes, and on Stitcher as well. It's time now for our last slate of questions for our panelists this week.
Ken, the first question's for you. A 7th grade pickup football game in North Carolina received an unexpected player when who showed up?
Cam Newton.
Yeah, look at that.
That was a great article. I like this.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Newton was driving past the field that the kids were playing at, noticed the kid was wearing his jersey, got out of his car, hopped the fence, and played with the kids. And, of course, to end the game, they all did a group dab as well.
Only charged them $50 each to play in the
It was a
game.
wonderful thing. It was kind of cool, actually, though,
And
to see.
he taught them correctly how to do the dab.
That's true.
what
It wasn't like
ESPN
one of those
came out
like
officially
weird.
and said.
It was like no, the
He
officials
taught them the
banned
correct way to do it.
Well, he would be the man to do that. Gabe, question for you. So you've been to a hockey game once or twice in your life.
Once
I'm
or
assuming.
twice, yes.
As you know, some teams like to throw various items, and sometimes even animals, onto the ice as well. Detroit Red Wing fans have tossed octopi on before. San Jose Shark fans have even tossed a shark onto the ice as well. Now the Nashville Predators have some fans that decided to join in this tossing fit, and they decided to throw what onto the ice?
I saw this earlier this week, and I can't think of it. I can't think of the actual animal. So apparently hints are a thing.
You can ask for a
So
hint, yes.
I will definitely take a hint
Okay,
right now.
it is a bottom feeder that is a pain in the butt to try to fish for.
So what, a largemouth bass?
We have a couple of these walking around the studio as well.
A catfish?
Yes, that's exactly what it was. Yes. Yes, we can clap for that.
Yeah.
That was 2 hints.
Yes.
That was 2 hints. I'm just pointing that out.
Ken is like got his own. He's like
I'm
auditing
going to
his
tell you
show.
this right now. If you don't, I'm going to file the official protest for you, and you should play the rest of this game under protest.
Just a quick reminder, Ken, that I'm the one keeping score.
Yeah, right. BTS.
Yes, apparently 3 guys have released a video about how they have been smuggling giant catfish that are saran wrapped to their back into the stadium. My first question, though, is doesn't security pat everybody down? Like, you get the little, like, tap on the back, the legs, etc. How do you not feel a massive catfish?
Well, they don't do it at the Brewer games. They don't pat you down. You just
go through the metal detector.
Unless you
I
put
guess
metal
that-
in the catfish.
I
I think
guess
you're
that-
good.
As long as you
the
take
hook in.
Exactly. Like, sir, what's that? Be like,
Or they're related to Richard III.
fine.
There's your Shakespeare.
Hey, there we go.
For those that don't know, what is
400, yeah. Richard III, he was the guy with the hunchback. Never mind. Can I get a hint?
Grant, the last question here is for you. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver came out this week stating that if the city of Charlotte does not change their anti-LGBT law, the city could lose what event?
The All-Star Game.
Yes, that is correct. A little bit longer of a pause than I feel like we needed for that. We're like
Fishing for that one.
Yes, the NBA All-Star Game. Silver told Mike and Mike in an interview this week that the NBA has made itself clear about where it stands on the law, which prevents local municipalities from passing protections against LGBT discrimination, as well as they've had North Carolina's had the transgender bathroom laws, and it's been kind of a little messy down there.
And Indianapolis did something like that. Like that was happening for I think college basketball a couple years ago, or something like that happened in Indianapolis where they weren't going to have the March Madness games happening there, or something like that.
Well, there's been all kinds of stuff. I believe there's been a lot of singers as well recently that have canceled their
Bruce
shows.
Springsteen has canceled a show down there.
In North Carolina as well, all in protest of this as well.
All right, well, it's time to break up the fun once again, but when we come back, our final contestant will play another one of our new games. We'll be back in just a little bit, so don't go away. This is What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz, presented by Sports Radio America, live on Spreaker.com.
Hey everyone, this is Baxter. Just want to take a minute to thank one of our sponsors of What's the Score, Sports Radio America. Go and check out sportsradioamerica.com today and find all the greatest shows that you and your friends should be listening to if you're not already. Listen to the College Credit Hour, Sunday Gridiron, Major League Diamond, Two Up Front, and What's the Score. You can find What's the Score on sportsradioamerica.com and on the TuneIn app by listening to them on Mondays and Wednesdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Sports Radio America, one of the official sponsors of What's the Score. Hey everyone, this is Baxter Colburn, host of What's the Score, the sports news quiz.
And I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe.
If you think you are smart enough, or smarter than a fifth grader, and want to play our games on air, you can either come by the studio or you can call us, but there's a few different ways you can get a hold of us.
If you'd like to email us, you can do so at WTSSportsQuiz@gmail.com.
Or for you social media savants, head over to Facebook, What's the Score, the sports news quiz, or Twitter, WTS Sports Quiz. Now back to the action with myself and Josh Scheibe.
Welcome back, everyone. This is What's the Score, the sports news quiz, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Josh Scheibe, your game master. Our Name 5 Panelist Showdown is coming up, but first we have a new game called Guilty by Association. Here to get the game going is your host at the BLC Studios here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's Baxter Colburn!
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. It is time now for our final game after quite an interesting show so far, Game Master Scheibe.
Indeed. And playing our final game is Matt Daniels. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Matt, when you think of a certain team or player, many different things pop into your head, like how the Chicago Bears still suck, or the New England Patriots are considered cheaters. No matter what sport, no matter what level, teams, players have all become guilty by association due to certain things that have taken place in their team history.
In this game, we'll combine two different team associations for a game matchup, and you must tell us who we're talking about. Each pair you correctly identify will count as 1 point. Answer at least 3 out of our 5 questions correctly, and you'll win a What's the Score prize.
Game Master Scheibe, can you give Matt an example, please?
I can. If we said the purple people eaters are always beating up on Jerry Jones' Pride and Joy, we'll be talking about the Minnesota Vikings and the Dallas Cowboys.
There you go. All right, does that make sense to you, Matt?
Yeah.
All right, remember, you are allowed to ask one panelist for a hint on only one question, so make sure you choose wisely if you do want to use that hint. Here is your first pair. If we said the team with the Splash Brothers had to face off against the team that is featured as Dab Nation, which two teams are we talking about?
The Carolina Panthers?
And who was the other team? The first one, the Splash Brothers.
Can you say that again?
Yes, so they said if the two teams that are playing, if we said the team that has the Splash Brothers on it is also facing off the team that is considered Dab Nation, which two teams are we talking about?
The Carolina Panthers
Yes.
and the I don't know the other one.
Oh, yeah, the other half would be the Golden State Warriors is who we were looking
Golden
for.
State Warriors.
Yeah, all right, it's all right. We still got some time. Here's your next question.
If we said the 12th man was taking on the team with the racing sausages, which teams would we be talking about?
The Seattle Seahawks
And?
you said the Racing Sausages?
Yes.
The Milwaukee Brewers?
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done.
Wait, are we just going to be okay with the 12th man being associated with the Seahawks? They stole that from Texas A&M. We're just going to be completely
if you
okay
Google
with that.
search that, that's what comes up for the
Texas A&M. We're just going to be completely cool with Seattle
I
stealing
think that
that.
the least
Okay.
amount of press
That's
that
fine.
the Aggies get right now, especially with Manziel, I think they're just like, look, we just don't even want to be associated right now. All right, here's your next question, Matt. If we said the team that hasn't been good since Malone and Stockton retired is playing the team with all the old guys in a basketball game, who would we be watching?
Oh, I'm going to have to use the panelist.
Okay. Would you like to use Grant, Gabe, or Ken?
Grant.
Grant, how can you help out our good friend Matt?
One team has a very smooth kind of music to their name.
Okay, I like that.
And then the other team, same sport, is a team down south and this item is occasionally worn by cowboys on their heels.
Ooh, so we've got a smooth music team and a team that's got some cowboy accessories.
The Jazz
And
the Spurs.
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done. All right, here is your next question.
If we said, let's go watch the team with the green monster take on the team with rainbow puke uniforms, what game would we be going to?
Can you repeat that?
Yes, yeah. Let's repeat it one more time, just to give you a brief hint. It is a baseball game that we're going to see.
Okay.
So here are the two clues again.
If we said, let's go watch the team with the green monster take on the team with rainbow puke uniforms, what game would we be going to?
That would be Boston
Yes, and
the Marlins.
oh no, not the Marlins. Unfortunately, the Houston Astros were the other two.
Astros.
To be fair, another team that does have rainbow uniforms is the Hawaii College football team.
That is true.
I was actually
This was more so in a
confused.
reference to their older uniforms. They had some god-awful uniforms in like the 80s or the 90s or something like that.
Early 80s, late 70s.
All right, Matt, here is your final question. Let's see if we can get you a victory tonight.
All right.
If we said the team with the big three are taking on Bobby Orr's iconic team, which two teams would we be watching?
Okay, say that one more time.
So if we said the team with the big three is taking on the team that Bobby Orr made famous, what two teams are we watching?
That would be the Heat
Yes, and
the. Hold on.
Bobby Orr, the team that Bobby Orr made famous.
The Bruins.
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done.
Oh, he did it. He got the Boston team.
The Boston Bruins. Yeah, Bobby Orr and company. Their game
Bobby,
masters.
I remember seeing him play before. I loved watching that dude play. He loves to shop at Walmart.
Pockets caught up.
Yeah, exactly.
Game
He's
Master
chocolate on the
Scheibe.
roof.
It's freaking ridiculous.
How did Matt do on our quiz, Game Master Scheibe?
Matt got 3 out of 5 right. He's a winner!
Hey, congratulations, Matt. Nicely done
It's
there.
like butter, baby.
Good on you, Matt. Yeah, good effort there on your part.
The moment you've all been waiting for is almost here. Stick around and listen to our panelists duke it out on the Name 5 Panelist Showdown coming up right after the break. You're listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz, presented by Sports Radio America, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com. Hello all, I'm Josh Scheibe, your game master here at What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz. Thanks for listening in. I may not know much about sports, but what I do know about are our social media pages. Check us out on Facebook at What's the Score, or Twitter and Instagram at WTS Sports Quiz. Thanks very much for listening.
Hey everyone, this is Baxter. Do you enjoy taking a sports news quiz? Well, I understand, of course, you like What's the Score, the sports news quiz, but we encourage you to go check out one of our other sponsors, thesportsquotient.com. Go and check out the Sports Quotient and play one of their S-quizzes. You can test your sports knowledge about anything doing with sports, and even check out the great articles and content they have on their website as well. Thesportsquotient.com. That's quotient with a Q. Sportsquotient.com, and check out What's the Score on their network of podcasts as well.
Hi everyone, I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe.
And I'm your host, Baxter Colburn.
Hey, if you think the show is worth at least $1, why don't you go to our Patreon account?
We'd be very grateful if you donate to the show. That's how people like Josh and I stay employed, or pretend to be employed at least. Thank you so much for listening to What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. And now, back to more sports trivia action.
Hope my check's in the mail. Hello and welcome back. Thanks for listening to What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe. Our panelists have been warming up for their final showdown while they scramble to return to their seats. Here's your host at the BLC Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Baxter Colburn.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. We are so excited. We have come to the final part of the show, the Name 5 Panelist Showdown. I know, intimidating, isn't it?
I just got chilled.
Before we head into this, I do want to make a mention of this. Grant got an extra point because he gave a successful hint in our last game.
Nicely done, Grant. Can you please explain, Game Master Scheibe, how the Name 5 Panelist Showdown works?
I will. Our panelists will be given 4 topics in which they will have 10 seconds to name 5 people, teams, places, or things related to the sports world. Each panelist will have the same category. However, they cannot repeat answers. 1 point is awarded for each correct answer.
Game Master Scheibe, can you give us the scores, please?
I can. Ken has 2 points, Grant has 4, and Gabe has 4.
Wow.
That seems off. Like a recount.
Well, they each gave a successful game hint as well.
And then we got a hint, which you didn't get one.
Got it.
You're welcome.
All right.
For the refresher.
I can't wait
because
till
you
tomorrow
forgot.
night. I can't wait.
This is the time, Ken. This is where
you can help me pack for
It almost
Kurt.
is better that you get to go first. You get to set
I
the
get to go
tone.
first?
You
Are you going to put that pressure on
You're
me?
going first, yes. So our first round will be naming 5 college animal mascots. For an example, the Wisconsin Badgers. So colleges that have animals as their mascot. 10 seconds on the clock. Ken, and begin.
Badgers, Wolverines, Gophers, the Falcons, the Jets, the...
Can you clarify for the Falcons? Or are you just throwing out animals?
Yeah. Falcons is that's the Institute of Technology in Indiana.
That's up to you, Game Master.
I guess we'll go with it.
Okay. All right, Gabe, you're up next. 10 seconds on the clock. Remember, you cannot repeat answers, and begin.
The Hawkeyes, the Gators, the Golden Eagles, the... Ooh. Yeah, I'm kind of paused up. Yeah, this is tougher than you think it is.
Oh, time is up.
It is.
All right.
You
so
think
got-
it's easy.
Yeah.
But then your mind goes blank, and then you scramble, and then
All
you're
right, Grant, 10 seconds on the clock, and begin.
The Memphis Tigers, trying to go through teams, and they're not animals.
Time is up.
That was rough.
All right. No, that's it. That's got to start out. All right, Gabe, you'll be starting off round number 2. You'll be naming 5 professional athletes that play in Florida. Any sport, professional athletes that play for any Florida professional team.
Currently playing.
Currently playing. 10 seconds and begin.
Dwayne Wade, Hassan Whiteside, Luol Deng. We will go Ryan Tannehill, and then we'll finish up with, why can't I think of another one? Brent Grimes.
Yes, you got it. All right, he got 5. Nicely done. Well done. We applaud the 5ers in the crowd. All right, Grant, you are up next. Are you ready, sir?
Yep.
And begin.
We have Jameis Winston, Yarmir Yager. I'm trying to think more Florida Panther players.
Tampa Bay, the Lightning don't have anything.
Oh.
You got 2. All right.
I just thought of a third one.
Ken, are you ready, sir? That blank look tells me that you are, and we will begin.
I can't think of a freaking one. Dan Marino.
Say hi to your wife if you'd like, your family at home.
Safarian Jenkins, I think, is one. He plays for Tampa Bay.
You could have said Blake
Blake
Bortles.
Bortles.
Yeah, Blake
Who's
Bortles.
the Doug Martin? That's who I was trying to think of first.
Muscle hamster.
Man, didn't
That's his nickname.
Didn't even touch any of the baseball teams.
Yeah.
Carlos Stanton, Jose Fernandez.
Yeah.
and
See, now that the game is over, everyone's like, oh, yeah.
15,000, don't you?
All right, Grant. You'll be starting off round number 3. You'll be naming 5 current NFL secondary players. So cornerbacks, safeties, free safeties. 10 seconds.
So bad at this game.
And begin. Go with what you know.
Sam Shields, Casey Hayward, the guy that plays for the Seahawks, Sherman.
There it is.
The Cardinals guy.
That doesn't help. So we got 3. All right. Ken, you are up next. 10 seconds. And begin.
Josh Norman, Charles Oh God.
No, he retired.
No, he did. Eric Weddle.
Yep.
The other dude and the other guy, and the
Yeah.
guy who plays for that team in
Oh,
Florida.
yeah. Wow, yeah, absolutely. He got 2. Okay, not too bad. We'll clap, I guess. I started
One
clapping,
random
so.
one.
One random one.
Eric Weddle. Why is that my
I know. It's like
Eric Weddle?
You're a big Chargers fan, are you?
Right,
Yeah,
Eric
absolutely.
Weddle.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, Gabe, 10 seconds, and begin.
Earl Thomas, Patrick Patterson, Tyrann Mathieu, HaHa Clinton Dix, Morgan Burnett.
There you go. He got 5.
Oh,
Nice.
I forgot about
done.
haha. I forgot about
But
haha.
he did not get Eric Weddle.
No, that's all you. You will always have that.
Ken's like the ESPN guy. Got him on something tonight. Look at that.
Check.
All right.
Next.
What are the scores, Game Master Scheibe, going into our final round?
Ken has 8 points, Grant has 10, and Gabe is in the lead with 17.
Wow. We're good at this game.
Well, all right then. So we're gonna.
I think it's because he got 2 hints on that one question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You guys
so,
entered in this with the same amount of point total. That's.
I just want to throw a mulligan out.
You can always try to audit the Game Master as well. All right, round number 4. At this point, I mean, we're just doing this for fun. So you
Hey,
can,
this is for second place.
I guess that
I'm
is
fighting
true.
for not third.
Technically,
That's
there
true.
are leader point.
I was
leader
distracted
pen.
by the birds.
The lovely birds. As long as it wasn't Johnny Manziel flipping you the bird. All right, 10 seconds. Here we go. Final round. You're going to be naming 5 professional teams that have blue in their color scheme. Blue in their color scheme. Ken, you'll be leading us off. And begin.
Bears, Panthers, Giants, Yankees. Come on, Brewers.
Yes, there you go. He got 5. Nicely done.
Bam.
So since we're more playing for second place than we are first, what does Grant need to get to that? They get to the silver medal.
Grant needs 3 points to tie and 4 to get to second place.
All right, Grant, you are up next, and begin.
The St. Louis Blues, the Carolina, or just the Blue Jackets,
Yep.
the San Jose Sharks, and the...
Oh no!
I got 3.
They tied.
It's
All right.
tied.
Interesting. Well, we'll get back. We'll get to you guys. Well, yeah, we'll get to you guys in a minute. Well, because
just thought
Gabe has
about
already
it. Just
won,
thought
but
about
we
it.
want to see how far he can get. But then we have to actually break a tie with you guys in a minute. So we'll come back to you. So Gabe, we'll give you 10 seconds. You can do with it as you will if you'd like to name teams or whatever you'd like to do. So 10 seconds and begin.
We'll go Red Sox, Magic, the Canadiens.
Properly said it too. That was good. That was good.
Yes, he did.
I'm trying to think.
The Blue Jays. The Blue
Yeah,
Jays.
Blue
Ah,
Jays
the
have
Blue
been another
Jays.
good one.
There
Yeah,
you
could have
go.
stayed north of the border.
All right, so Gabe got 3 on that one. So we got to figure out who's going to finish in second place here. So Grant and Ken, you are going to get 10 seconds. Ken, you will go first. You'll get 10 seconds to name as many in 10 seconds NFL teams. Sound good?
Okay.
As many as you can in 10 seconds.
Okay.
And begin.
Packers, Vikings, Bears, Lions, Buccaneers, Cowboys, Giants, Patriots.
All right, so Ken got 8. So Grant, you need 9. You need 9. I can't. If there's a tiebreaker, Ken wins by default
He was a
because
man.
he's better looking. All right.
I love you.
Let's make up for those for that no hint apparently earlier. 10 seconds and begin, Grant.
Panthers, Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, 49ers, the Raiders.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Game Master Scheibe, what are the final scores this week?
Hang on 1 second while I tally up the totals
Oh,
here.
He went first.
All
I
right.
would have put Mulligan.
So-
That's easy.
Grant,
He left you the Chargers, though. I thought that was really nice of him.
After Eric Weddle.
Yeah,
he left you.
I really thought that was very nice of him not to take the Chargers.
And the Rams. Ooh.
with the tiebreaker, Grant ended up with 19 points and
All right.
Ken with 21. But Matt was still already the first place winner, and
You mean
officially
Gabe?
he had 20 points.
Or Gabe.
Or Gabe, excuse me.
Matt
Wow.
was on the phone.
I know.
You want to try that again? Who is
Yeah.
that?
That would be Gabe.
Well done,
Josh Schlarby.
You can see that Matt is in the same column,
Yep.
so I apologize.
Oh my goodness.
So-
well,
I can see why you want to recount. Like,
Yeah,
he doesn't even know who's playing the game.
I know. Goodness, where do we find these people? Well, before we go, Grant, thanks so much for being back on the panel, sir. It was
He's
great to
bad
have
at
you
this
back.
game. I can never win.
Name 5 is one of those games where it's like, if you're not physically here playing the game, you're like, oh, there's 25 of
Right.
that one. I got
But then
it.
when you're like under pressure, pressure, you're just like, okay, you get like 3 set up in your head, and then you blank, and then you panic.
From what we've heard, it's best to start with what you know, obviously. So you start with what you know, go with the teams. A lot of people, especially NFL-related people, if you're in Green Bay, go for the Packers.
Well, see, that's why you got an easy 4. Because he went for
the
first
NFC North.
and got NFC North, because that's...
But it's also not your first day on the rodeo, though, Grant. I feel like you know a couple NFL teams.
Well, yeah, it's just harder. You just said stick with what you know, and it's harder because I don't know the other teams
That just sounds like sour grapes to me.
I think that's
that too.
At the end of the day, I feel like that's really what it is. Ken, you finished in second place.
I did!
Congratulations!
I finished in second!
Yeah.
Hey, look at me go! I'm amazing!
It's great to have you back on the panel.
good-looking,
Yes,
too!
you are.
Yeah.
This is a great day for you.
Shut the show down right now. Goodness.
Oh, wow.
Well, we were so glad to have you back.
I got a coupon for a Happy Meal. I just don't know what to do.
I think Josh brought you the Happy Meal. I don't know. And Gabe, first time on the panel, sir. Congratulations on winning as well. What did you think of your first What's the Score
it was a lot of
experience?
fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad that I was on a panel with a couple of guys who like to have fun.
Absolutely. Well, we hope to have you back as well. So thank
You
you
gonna split
so
that
much.
Happy
gentlemen.
Meal?
I think
Because I didn't get anything. I won, and I'm not getting anything.
It's a toy.
I think we got a new big 3.
I think so. We got the new big 3. Let it be written. Well, fantastic. Well, What's the Score has been a production of Sports Radio America. Thank you to all of our contestants and studio audience here at the BLC studios. Our panelists this week have been Grant Coppersmith, Gabe Neitzel, and Ken Williams. Our social media staff is comprised of Emily Reister and Brittany Peterson. Our theme was composed by Danny Hoffenstein. Our media producer is Eric Condia. Our sound engineer and show producer is Kurt Colburn. And our executive director and producer for this show is my beautiful wife, Liz Colburn.
I've been your game master, Josh Scheibe.
And I've been your host, Baxter Colburn. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you all next time on What's the Score?